第12课，明天天气怎么样？
Lesson 12. What will the weather be like tomorrow?
你好，我是黄增。Welcome to Hsk Standard Course, Level 1. And today we're going to start a new lesson, Lesson 12. This time we're going to deal with Dialogue 1, 对话1. In our daily life, we usually start a conversation by talking about the weather. Then, do you know how to talk about the weather in Chinese? This is what we're going to learn today. First of all, let's learn some new words and expressions. The first one, 天气，跟我读，天气，天气。It means weather. We can say 天气很好，天气很好。And if the weather is not so fine, we can say 天气不好，天气不好。The next one, 怎么样？跟我读，怎么样？怎么样？ It means how. It is used to ask the condition of someone or something. We can put a concrete noun before 怎么样 to form a question. Let's look at the pictures and ask the questions. 这个电影怎么样？他的工作怎么样？那个商店怎么样？北京的天气怎么样？ As for the last sentence, if we want to know the weather in Beijing on a certain day, we can add 昨天、今天、明天 at the beginning of the sentence. For example, 昨天北京的天气怎么样？今天北京的天气怎么样？明天北京的天气怎么样？ The next one is an adverb. 太，跟我读，太，太。It means extremely, very. And it is often used in a sentence pattern, 太了 to show a strong emotion. And the adjective is placed between. Now, let's have a review of the adjectives. 好 it means good, great. 太好了 it means very good. 这个学校太好了。And the next one, 好吃 it means delicious. And if we want to say so delicious, we can say 太好吃了。这个菜太好吃了。What's worth mentioning is that in the negative sentences, we shouldn't use 了 at the end of the sentence, and we put 不 before 太. So we can keep it in mind as a structure, 不太 plus adjective. Let's rewrite the two sentences into the negative form. 这个学校太好了。这个学校不太好。这个菜太好吃了。这个菜不太好吃。The next two ones are frequently used when we talk about the temperature. 热 and 冷 hot and cold. 跟我读，热，热。The pronunciation might be a little bit difficult at the very beginning. suspend your tongue in your mouth and try to spread it down, with your air float bursting out from your throat. 热，热。And the antonym of 热 is 冷。跟我读，冷，冷。If it is too hot and you cannot bear it, you can say 太热了，太热了。And the opposite, 太冷了，太冷了。If the temperature is comfortable, neither too cold nor too hot, we can use the structure 不，不，不冷不热。And the two adjectives after 不 should be antonyms. And pay attention. 不冷不热 is fixed usage. We can't say 不热不冷。And let's look at some more examples. 不大不小，不多不少 meaning moderate, perfect. Now, let's have a review. 天气，天气，怎么样？怎么样？太，太，太了，太了。热，热，冷，冷，不冷不热，不冷不热。Let's look at the sentence. 今天天气很好。It's a complete sentence. And as you can see, the red part is the subject of the whole sentence. And the blue part is the predicate. However, do you find that the predicate is an independent sentence with subject and predicate? This features 主谓谓语句 in Chinese grammar. It is emphasized that in such sentences, the subject in the subject-predicate phrase as the predicate has something to do or is part of the subject of the whole sentence. 天气 and 今天 is a case in point. Now, let's do some exercises. Put the sentence parts in order and make them grammatically correct sentences. Let's check the answers. 1. 商店东西很多。2. 他汉语不太好。Let's come to the dialogue. Dialogue 1. Before listening to the recording, I have 2 questions for you. 1. 昨天北京天气怎么样？ 2. 明天北京天气怎么样？ Now, let's listen.
昨天北京的天气怎么样？
太热了。
明天呢？明天天气怎么样？
明天天气很好，不冷不热。
Let's check the answers. 1. 昨天 北京天气怎么样？太热了。2. 明天北京天气怎么样？不冷不热。Let's read the dialogue together. 昨天北京的天气怎么样？太热了。明天呢？明天天气怎么样？明天天气很好，不冷不热。Now, let's read the dialogue again without the help of pinyin. 昨天北京的天气怎么样？太热了。明天呢？明天天气怎么样？明天天气很好，不冷不热。Shall we do some exercises? Exercise 1. Look at the pictures and answer the questions. 1. 昨天这儿天气怎么样？ Look, the dog is wearing a scarf and a cotton hat. It's too cold or very cold. So we can say 太冷了 or 很冷。2. 今天北京天气怎么样？ It's sunny and the dog is wearing sunglasses, seemingly very hot. You can say 太热了 or 很热。3. 北京9月天气怎么样？ According to the picture, it's neither too cold nor too hot. You can say 不冷不热 or you can make it longer, saying 天气很好，不冷不热 just like what we've learned in the dialogue. Well done. Exercise 2. Rewrite the sentences into the negative form. 1. 这本书太好了。这本书不太好。Pay attention. We shouldn't use le at the end of the negative sentence. And we should put 不 before 太。2. 中午太热了。中午不太热。3. 他东西太多了。他东西不太多。Well done. Let's have a brief summary. In this class, we've learned some useful words and expressions about the weather. And we have learned how to ask the weather in a certain place of a certain time. 昨天北京天气怎么样？明天天气怎么样？ And we've learned words and expressions about the temperature to be part of the conversation. 昨天北京太热了。明天天气很好，不冷不热。I have a little task for you. Check the weather forecast in your cell phone or on the internet. And tell us how is the weather this Sunday in Chinese. That's all for today. Thank you for your listening. 再见。
第12课，明天天气怎么样？
Lesson 12. What will the weather be like tomorrow?
你好，我是黄增。Welcome to HSK Standard Course, Level 1. Today we're going to go on with Lesson 12. This time we're going to deal with Dialogue 2, 对话2. The weather can be changeable, and in most places, it often rains in summer. Then, how do we express that in Chinese? This is what we're going to learn today. We're going to learn more about the weather. First of all, let's learn some new words and expressions. The first one is 下雨。跟我读，下雨，下雨。It's a verb phrase. It means to rain. It consists of two characters, 下 and 雨。We have learned 下 before. Do you still remember? It's a noun indicating the position, under or below. But here, it's a verb, indicating the natural phenomenon of the falling of rain, snow, etc. And 雨 means the rain. Then what about to snow? We can say 下雪，下雪。The second one is 小姐，跟我读，小姐，小姐。It means miss or young lady. In Chinese, we can put the family name or the full name before 小姐. For example, 李小姐，李月小姐。We have learned the word go. Do you still remember? 去。And we can say 去学校，去医院。And now we're going to learn the opposite. To come. 来。跟我读，来，来，来学校，来我家。Let's have a review of the new words and expressions. 下雨，下雨，下雪，下雪。小姐，小姐，来，来。Now, let's turn to our language points. We've learned that 会 is a modal verb, indicating the ability. For example, 我会说汉语。And you can turn to Lesson 6 for more information. Today, we're going to learn a new meaning of 会. It can also be used to indicate the possibility of a situation mentioned, most of the time in the future. For example, 今天会下雨. It may or will rain today, but not now. Then, do you know how to change it into a yes or no question? We can say, 今天会下雨吗? If yes, we can say, 会. If no, we can say, 不会. And to make them complete, 今天会下雨. 今天不会下雨。Very good. Now, let's put the sentence parts in order and make it a grammatically correct sentence. Okay, let's check the answer. 爸爸8点前会回家吗？ Please give both affirmative answer and the negative answer. 爸爸8点前会回家。爸爸8点前不会回家。It's time for our dialogue. Dialogue 2. Before listening to the recording, I have 2 questions for you. 1. 今天会下雨吗？ 2. 王小姐会来吗？ Now, let's listen.
今天会下雨吗？今天不会下雨。王小姐今天会来吗？不会来，天气太冷了。
Let's check the answers. 1. 今天会下雨吗？不会。2. 王小姐会来吗？不会。And do you know why? 天气太冷了。Now, let's read the dialogue together. 今天会下雨吗？今天不会下雨。王小姐今天会来吗？不会来。天气太冷了。Now, let's read it again without the help of pinyin. 今天会下雨吗？今天不会下雨。王小姐今天会来吗？不会来。天气太冷了。Very good. Now, let's do some exercises. Exercise 1. Find the right place for 会 in each sentence. Let's check the answers. 1. 明天天气很好，不会下雨。2. 老师下午会来学校。3. 他下星期会去中国吗？ Wonderful. Exercise 2. Look at the weather forecast and try to describe the weather with 太 or 会. In picture 1, there's a sun, indicating that it's too hot. We can say, 今天天气太热了 or 今天太热了。In picture 2, the man is wearing coats and it's too cold. We can say, 今天天气太冷了。And picture 3 shows it will rain. We can put it this way. 今天会下雨。Great. let's have a brief summary. In this class, we've learned some useful words and expressions describing the weather, such as 下雨, 下雪, and we've learned another usage of the modal verb, 会, indicating the possibility of something that will happen in the future. 今天会下雨吗? I have a task for you. Check the weather forecast of tomorrow and the day after tomorrow to see whether it will rain. 明天会下雨吗? 后天会下雨吗? And that's all for today. Thank you for your listening. 再见。
第12课，明天天气怎么样？
Lesson 12. What will the weather be like tomorrow?
你好，我是黄增。Welcome to HSK Standard Course, Level 1. Today we're going to go on with Lesson 12. And this time we're going to deal with Dialogue 3, 对话3. If the weather is too cold, we can say 天气太冷了. And unfortunately, if you caught a cold and had to see a doctor, how would you talk to him or her in Chinese? This is what we're going to learn today. First of all, let's learn some new words and expressions. The first one is 身体. 跟我读. 身体. 身体. It means body. And we've learned the structure. 怎么样? And can you guess the meaning of the sentence? 你身体怎么样? Yes, it means how are you? And if you feel very well, you can say 我身体很好. And if not, you can say 我身体不好. Attention, please. We can't say 我身体不很好. We should say 我身体不太好 or just 我身体不好. If you do want to emphasize the negation, we can say 我身体很不好. The second is I. 跟我读 I. I. It means to like or to love. It can be followed by verbs. For example, 爱喝茶. And do you know how to put like reading into Chinese? We can say 爱看书. Then what about like studying? We can say 爱学习. As for the negative form, we can put 不 before I. For example, 不爱喝茶. 不爱看书. 不爱学习. The next one, 些. 跟我读些. It means some or a few. We can also say 一些. It can be placed before nouns. Now, let's try to translate the phrases into Chinese. Some books. 一些书。Some friends. 一些朋友。And do you still remember? We have learned 这个、那个、哪个。We can replace 个 with 些 to indicate the plural form. 这些、那些、哪些。The next one, 水果。跟我读，水果。水果。It means fruit. Some fruit. We can say 一些水果。Look at the picture. 吃水果。你爱吃水果吗？ Let's answer the question. Very good. 我爱吃水果。Or 我不爱吃水果。The last one is a single character. 水。跟我读，水。水。It means water. 喝水。It means to drink water. Let's have a review of the new words and expressions. 身体。身体。爱。爱。爱看书。爱看书。些。些。一些。一些。水果。水果。吃水果。吃水果。水。水。喝水。喝水。Now, let's turn to our language points. If you caught a cold and you had to see the doctor would give you a lot of advice, such as to drink more water, to eat more fruit, etc. Then, do you know how to express those in Chinese? We can use the structure 多 plus verb phrase. For example, 多喝水 means to drink more water. And if you want to express the opposite, we can use 少 plus verb phrase. For example, 少喝咖啡 it means to drink less coffee. Suppose you want to learn a new language. Do you have any good ways to acquire the language? Look at the pictures and try to give some advice. 多读，多写，多说。And they are the good ways to learn Chinese too. Now, let's look at the dialogue. Dialogue 3. Before listening, as usual, I have a question for you. 他身体怎么样? Now, let's listen.
你身体怎么样？
我身体不太好，天气太热了，不爱吃饭。
你多吃些水果，多喝水。
谢谢你，医生。
Now, let's check the answer. 他身体怎么样？不太好。And do you know why? 天气太热了，他不爱吃饭。 Then what should he do? 多吃些水果，多喝水。Now, let's read the dialogue together. 你身体怎么样？我身体不太好。天气太热了，不爱吃饭。你多吃些水果，多喝水。谢谢你，医生。Now, let's read the dialogue again without the help of pinyin. 你身体怎么样？我身体不太好。天气太热了，不爱吃饭。你多吃些水果，多喝水。谢谢你，医生。Now, let's do some exercises. Exercise 1. Replace the underlined part with the words and expressions given, and read the sentences aloud. 1. 我身体不太好。他身体不太好。王芳身体不太好。老师身体不太好。妈妈身体不太好。2. 我的朋友爱吃水果。我的朋友爱做菜。我的朋友爱看电影。我的朋友不爱喝水。我的朋友不爱看书。Well done. Exercise 2. Choose the correct words to fill in the brackets. Now, let's check the answers.
1.
F. 北京的天气怎么样？
2.
B. 你多喝水，天气太热了。
3.
A. 他们不想住这儿，这儿太冷了。
4.
C. 这个星期我身体不太好，不爱吃饭。
5.
E. 天气很热，你多吃些水果。 Well done. Let's have a brief summary. Today we've learned how to give advice using 多 or 少 plus verb phrase. Imagine you are a doctor. Please give 3 pieces of advice to your friends. That's all for today. Thank you for your listening. 再见。
第12课，明天天气怎么样？
Lesson 12. What will the weather be like tomorrow?
你好，我是黄增。Welcome to Hsk Standard Course, Level 1. This is the last part of Lesson 12. This time, we're going to learn some pinyin and characters. We know that in English, we have words with 1 syllable, 2 syllables, 3 syllables, or more. It is also the case in Chinese. In Chinese, one character is represented by 1 syllable. Therefore, if the word consists of many characters. It has many syllables. Pronunciation is very important in a language. Look at the tone collocation of the words with 3 syllables, starting with the first tone syllable. 跟我读。星期一，冰激凌。星期五，星期六。清洁工，捉迷藏。吃苹果。加拿大。高脚杯。堆雪人。花雨伞。吃米饭。哈密瓜。机器人。拨浪鼓。医务室。Good job! We are moving forward to be a fluent Chinese speaker. Let's practice. Listen to the recording. Mark the one with different tone pattern in each group. Now, let's listen.
1. A. 星期五 B. 星期几 C. 西班牙 2. A. 医学家 B. 巴黎人 C. 捉迷藏 3. A. 芭蕾舞 B. 交响乐 C. 书法课 4. A. 音乐家 B. 音乐课 C. 哈密瓜 5. A. 吃西瓜 B. 喝啤酒 C. 喝牛奶
Let's go on. Let's learn 3 single component characters. The first one is 天. Originally, it means the top of the head. With its development, it is written the way today, meaning sky. Please learn how to write it with me and pay attention to the stroke order. The next one is 气. And as you can see from the picture, at the very beginning, it looks like the Chinese character 三, referring to the air with no shape, no size, and can spread anywhere. Now, let's look at the motion graphic and learn how to write it. Let's come to the third one, 雨. At the very beginning, it looks like the raindrops falling from the sky. And now, it's a noun, representing the natural phenomenon of rain. Let's see how to write it. And we've learned the phrase 下雨下雨 Good job. Okay, it's time for our radicals. The first one is 女字旁. characters with the radical are usually related to the female. Let's look at the examples. Can you read them aloud? The first one is ma. The word mama means mother. The second is ta. It's a personal pronoun. It means she or her. The next one is 十字旁. The radical has something to do with food. For example, 饭. 跟我读饭 饭. With the radical on its left, it means meals. And we have learned the verb phrase 吃饭. 吃饭 means to eat meals. Now, let's do some exercises. Find out the words with the same characters below. Tian, 天气 今天 明天 星期天 姐 姐姐 小姐 饭 米饭 吃饭 Well done! Let's have a brief summary. Today, we've learned how to read the tone collocation in words with 3 syllables, starting with the first tone syllable. And we've learned 3 single component characters. 天, 气, 雨. Last but not least, we've learned 2 Chinese radicals, 女字旁 and 十字旁. I have a task for you. Try to differentiate the Chinese characters in each group and try to make sentences with them. 一, 大 太 2, 气 吃 That's all for lesson 12. Thank you for your listening. 再见。